Presidents of some of the most prestigious universities in the nation are testifying on Capitol Hill today. They're discussing how they've handled anti-Semitic incidents on their campuses since the October 7th Hamas attack. The House Committee on Education and the Workforce is holding today's hearing. Republican Chairwoman Virginia Foxx is accusing college administrators of, quote, allowing horrific rhetoric to fester and grow on campuses. The presidents of Harvard University, the University of Pennsylvania, and MIT say they are taking actions to address forms of hate being perpetuated at their schools.
I have sought to confront hate while preserving free expression. This is difficult work, and I know that I have not always gotten it right.
We are combating this hate on our campus with both immediate and comprehensive action. I have condemned anti-Semitism publicly, regularly, and in the strongest possible terms. And today, let me reiterate my and Penn's unyielding commitment to combating it.
Our campus actions to date have protected student safety, minimized disruptions to campus activities, and protected the right to free expression. We are intensifying our central efforts to combat anti-Semitism, the vital subject of this hearing.
Both the Anti-Defamation League and the Council on American Islamic Relations say incidents of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia have surged across the U.S. in the weeks following the start of the Israel-Hamas war. CBS News congressional correspondent Nikole Killion joins us now from Capitol Hill. So, Nikole, at the start of this hearing, Chairwoman Foxx showed a video of what appeared to be pro-Palestinian protests on the campuses of Harvard, University of Pennsylvania, and MIT. How are lawmakers differentiating between anti-Semitism and support for the Palestinian people?
Well, it's more so in some of the lines of questioning to these university presidents. And as you heard in some of those sound bites from the various presidents, they really tried to convey a sense of their condemnation for anti-Semitism, but also trying to maintain campuses where there can be free expression and the free exchange of ideas, even though that may be a very fine line in the view of some. And so that really is kind of what a lot of the exchanges have been between many of these university leaders and lawmakers as they try to outline some of the steps that they have taken on their campuses, respectively, to combat anti-Semitism.
Well, the college presidents appearing today have noted the importance of protecting the First Amendment on their campuses. How are they combating anti-Semitism without infringing upon free speech?
Well, we've heard from many of these university leaders not only talk about the rise in anti-Semitism and concerns that many students may have about their safety, but also the rise in Islamophobia as well, and trying to work to counter both issues on their respective campuses. So in the case of Harvard, we heard the president there talk about not long after the October 7th attack, she talked about ways in which she tried to, work with students on campus, attend meetings in solidarity with those who were supportive of Israel, but also at the same time continue to try to allow those who feel differently to be able to express their opinions as well. Obviously, many of these university leaders have also talked about, ensuring student safety, working with campus police and the like to make sure that students on their campuses feel safe.
And ultimately, Nikole, what seems to be the objective here? What are lawmakers hoping to achieve with this hearing?
Well, I think, many lawmakers have some real concerns. I mean, in the case of Republicans, many of them have been arguing, for instance, that diversity, equity, and inclusion programs may be part of the reason for kind of stoking this kind of culture of acceptance and allowing some of this vitriol that we have seen on college campuses to fester. But Democrats are trying to counter by saying, look, Republicans, you are the ones who are trying to cut funding, for instance, to the Office of Civil Rights in the Department of Education and at the Department of Justice. And in order to truly combat things like anti anti-Semitism, you need fully funded federal offices to work with these institutions on these outstanding issues. So that's kind of been some of the political dialogue that's been occurring in this hearing as part of the discussion as well.
All right, Nikole Killion. Nikole, thank you.
You bet.